reading out production information and reception from the free encyclopedia of The Happiness Patrol. The working titles for this story included The Crooked Smile. The production team considered transmitting this story in black and white to fit with its intended film noir atmosphere. A fan myth holds that the third episode was originally meant to be animated rather than filmed, but this was never the case. The entire serial was shot in studio in July and August 1988. Helen A. was intended to be a caricature of the then British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. Hancock stated that she hated Mrs. Thatcher with a deep and venomous passion. In 2010, Sylvester McCoy said that the production team was a group of politically motivated people and it seemed the right thing to do. Our feeling was that Margaret Thatcher was far more terrifying than any monster the Doctor had encountered. Andrew Cartmell, the story script editor, said that he was very angry about the social injustice in Britain under Thatcher and was delighted that came into the show. The Doctor calling on the Jones to down tools in revolt was intended as an allusion to the 1984-85 miners' strike and other industrial disputes in then recent memory. Most of this element was eventually toned down. In the story, the Doctor sings As Time Goes By, sung by Dooley Wilson in Casablanca. John Normington played Morgus in The Caves of Androzani and later appeared in Ghost Machine, an episode of Torchwood. Leslie Dunlop previously played Norna in 1984's Frontios, and Harold Innocent would go on to appear in the 1993 radio serial The Paradise of Death. Now, reception. The Hazards complained over the similarity between the Candyman in this story and their trademark character. The BBC agreed not to use the Candyman again. He was dead, they couldn't really. Radio Times reviewer Patrick Mulcahy awarded The Happiness Patrol a full 5 stars and described it as a clever and funny satire and praised the acting and political commentary. DVD Talks John Sinnott gave The Happiness Patrol 5 out of 5 stars, calling it a minor masterpiece. He commended the irony, social commentary, and McCoy's acting. Authors Graham Burke and Robert Smith included The Happiness Patrol in their 2013 book Who's 50, the 50 Doctor Who stories to watch before you die. For Games Radar Plus in 2015, Will Salmon included The Happiness Patrol among the strangest Doctor Who stories, describing it as an infamous Sylvester McCoy story that is actually rather good, but there's no denying its peculiarity. There's lots of interesting stuff going on beneath the surface of this story: anti-war speeches, Orwellian oppression, and protests against Section 28. There's little doubt that, nearly 30 years later, it's still one of the most iconoclastic Doctor Who stories ever, and one of the oddest. Despite the self-professed anti-Thatcherism of those involved with the story, Danny Nicol questioned whether this agenda was actually reflected in the story itself, stating in his book Doctor Who, A British Alien, that while Helen A was played by Sheila Hancock in a way which served to remind the viewer of Margaret Thatcher, Helen A's policies, death squads, executions, and the extensive state establishment of sugar factories bear no relation to Thatcher's, making claims of a Thatcher metaphor less convincing. In the Discontinuity Guide, Paul Cornell, Martin Day, and Keith Topping identify a gay subtext to the story. There's entrapment over cottaging, the TARDIS is painted pink, and the victim of the fondant surprise is every inch the proud gay man, wearing, as he does, a pink triangle. The story ends with Helen A's husband abandoning her and leaving with another man. Rowan Williams, Archbishop of Canterbury, made a brief reference to the story in his 2011 Easter sermon on the subject of happiness and joy. Mark Sidwell has described the story as an expression of national unease at rave culture.